This is a little peek into what I'm going to do tomorrow. Please forgive my reading. I'm dyslexic, so I'm going to try to read as best I can. Okay, the Benelli House. The original Benelli House was built in 30 days at the end of 1894. George A. Benelli paid $40 for the corner property on which it sat in downtown Kingman. It is now part of the city complex. This original house was a gift for his bride, Effie Ellen Tarr, who he married on January 1st, 1895. Their wedding took place in the Methodist church directly across the street. George penchant for the latest innovation drove him to install electrical wiring in their two-story wooden home. 20 years later, on January 29, 1915, a suspected electrical short in the wiring on the second floor destroyed the house. All escaped to safety, but the Benelli family lost most of their possessions. The few items that did survive were left for the museum and are now on display in the house. Located at the corner of 5th and Spring Street, the second home built by George and Effie was completed in October 1950 after 9 months' labor. Now preserved and protected under the care of the city of Kingman, the house provides an excellent example of Anglo-Territorial architecture as well as the lifestyle of a prominent Arizona family at the turn of the 20th century. Stonemason Mr. Pendergast used a local volcanic mixed stone for its thick exterior walls. On the inside, a fire-resistant mixture of plaster and lime was applied to its lath and plaster walls to increase the aspect of fire safety. George and Effie designed their home with exit doors to the veranda in each room on both levels. A 5-point system of passive air conditioning was provided. 1. Leafy vines growing on chicken wire stretched from under roof eaves to anchor in cement on a three-sided veranda. This shaded the stone wall from the direct sun. 2. The cupola, which sits atop the roof, served as their hot air chimney. 3. Inside, an exit for that hot air was by way of an opening in the upstairs bedroom. That's 3, so you must visit the Benelli Museum house to get the rest of the story. The cupola, see photo below, I'll show you that later, was also used as a lookout for the Benelli boys at play. Girls were not allowed. That's kind of messed up. The family. The parents of George A. Benelli, 1869 to 1933, were Daniel Baumelli of Switzerland and Anne Haig, an Englishwoman. They met aboard the ship in 1860 on their way to America. The Baumelli family name had been changed to Daniel's father's Hans Georg Baumelli in Switzerland when he became a Mormon before they immigrated in 1857. After much difficulty, Daniel and Anne founded the town Rioville, Nevada Territory, a town that once sat beneath the waters of Lake Mead when it was full. Now building foundation can be found there. Rioville was where George and his 6 siblings were born, and several died, one brother as a result of the rattlesnake bite. George was college educated and, like his father, entrepreneurial by nature. He became a major cattle rancher in Mojave County with 250,000 acres of lush spring-fed grassland to graze his herds. Effie and their children were fully involved in these pursuits. In the cattle business, they added 4 successful retail shops. They were actively involved in church and civic organizations of the community. Wealthy but grounded might be a good synopsis of the Benelli family life and times in Kingman. Effie Ellen Tarr, 1875 to 1961, was the daughter of W.A.L. Tarr and Addie C. Wyman. Mr. Tarr was the Santa Fe Railroad station master in Kingman, and in the early 1900s, Effie, an energetic and progressive young woman, was employed at the Kingman Railroad Depot as a telegraph operator for 2 years before she and George were married. The couple became parents of 9 children while living in their first house. One of whom died in 1905, Alfred, during a scarlet fever epidemic. Each of their 8 remaining children have made their own unique mark in history, though most moved from Kingman to live in other places. The Benelli home remained an epicenter of happy family gatherings for 2 generations, including the Centennial Gathering in 2015. The Benelli's 7th child, Bachelor Joseph, 1907 to 1974, was the last of family to live in the house. With the help of his nephew, Ben Benelli, an attorney in San Francisco at the time, Joseph and the city of Kingman reached an agreement for the sale of the Benelli property. Escrow closed at the end of December 1973. The contract stipulated that the house and its grounds would be properly maintained and placed on National Register of History Sites. The registration. The city of Kingman, in cooperation with the Daughters of the Mojave County Pioneers, turned the Benelli House into a museum as part of the United States Bicentennial Project. In April 1975, it was placed on the National Register of Historical Places, and the first floor of the house was opened to the public in 1978. But it took 10 more years, 1988, before the second floor would be furnished sufficiently to be open for tours. In 2008 and 9, the interior walls and the exterior wood trim, were repaired and repainted. Display items were cleaned or restored by Kingman volunteers in 2014, with the generous donation by the Benelli family descendants. The air conditioning system was replaced, and in 2015, in partnership with the city and county, a centennial open house was held to celebrate the completion of the 1915 of both the Mojave County Courthouse and the present Benelli House. Maintenance and further restoration projects are scheduled and will be completed as funds or helping hands becomes available. Features. And this is what you only get a 25-minute tour in the house, and I'm going to try to cover as much as I can. I want to make this something interesting for all of you. So this is going to be a series, and this is the beginning. I'm just letting you know about the house and a little bit about the history. And as time goes by and the series goes on, I will be telling you a little bit more about the Benelli family and their businesses and everything else. So I hope you all, come in and watch, and I hope you're fascinated. I'm interested in this history. It really sounds very interesting about how they came here and what they made of themselves, what their parents made of themselves, and what their children and their children's children made of themselves. So this is going to be an interesting series, and I really hope you join in and participate and ask questions, anything, and I'll try to find any answers that you need, okay? So you all stay strong, and I love you all. You take care, and have a blessed day.